What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the HnH Podcast. My name is Humzah Rana, and I'm joined by none other than my brother Humzah Rana. We just wanted to say, first of all, thank you guys so much for your comments and positivity after the last episode. We really do appreciate it. The biggest thing you guys can do for us, honestly, is just continue to like, comment, and subscribe. It's going to be super encouraging for us, and we will definitely get some more content out to you guys. But without further ado, Humzah, man, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It was a very exciting week. Last week, it was pretty fun. I'm happy to see all the good comments that we're getting on our first episode, and it's pretty cool seeing all that. And hope to see more of that soon.
For sure. And Humzah, before we start, dude, I know some people might be looking at your background this episode, and they'll see it's a little different from last episode. Care to comment on the background?
Yeah, there's no reflection this time. There's no mirror. There's no stupid mirror in the background. Hopefully, my lighting is better because some people were commenting on that the lighting wasn't good enough. So, hey, we made changes. Again, that's like the thing that we do here. You're always going to see improvements. Not everything is going to stay the same. And we got a new blue screen. We also have a green screen behind it. You can't see. I decided to put the blue because I thought it would fit the theme. But this is new. I like it so far.
No, that's good because there's some people messaging me like, dude, is Humzah filming like in a dungeon? Like, why is it so dark in his room? And I was like, dude, listen. It's episode 1. It's a long journey. There'll be improvements and stuff we got to do, but I rate the screen now. It's a nice blue one. It goes well, and
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll keep this going for a while.
exactly. It's just yeah, I know. Like, I don't know why everyone was commenting on. Again, it was the first episode. We got to build off from somewhere. KSI's first video. I guarantee you everyone has seen that. It wasn't perfect. I Show Speed's first video. It wasn't perfect. They didn't have the luxury of at least what I have now. We're just like anything. But it starts off somewhere, man. But anyways, it was a pretty cool seeing everyone's responses, and I got a screen now. So
There you go, man. Couldn't have said better myself. But that's that. So on to this episode. We got a fun episode, man. If regarding the sports world, there was a lot that went down this past week, and we'll touch on that in a second here. But actually, let's touch on it right now. There was a couple. You don't have to do that every single time. You don't have to do that every single time. Let's break down the news. There was a couple trade requests that happened this past week. The biggest name of them all was Micah Parsons. Yeah, there he is, the number 11 jersey. Hopefully, he's still wearing Cowboys blue in the fall. I still think he will, but we'll get into that in a second. But just I'll come and ask you off the rip. Just what your thoughts on the trade request? Was it shocking? Take me through kind of what you were doing when you found out the news that he asked for a trade, and we'll go from there.
So at first, I think any fan would. I was nervous. I was very nervous. I was pretty scared when I first saw making the whole trade request. And even reading the entire message he wrote on Twitter. I'm like, dude, like, there's no actual way that the guy who grew up a diehard Cowboys fan, wanted to do everything for this team, just said that I don't want to be here. Really got me. I'm like, bro, like what are we doing? Like, what are we actually doing? But then, people are going to say that, oh, this situation is so much different than any other trade request situation, which to an extent, there's certain details that, yes, they are different. But, you hear the big names like Myles Garrett. He requested a trade. He eventually stayed with Cleveland. He got a bag. You get all that money in your face, of course you're going to stay. Lamar Jackson a few years ago, he requested a trade. And he got his bag and he stayed. Same with T. Higgins. I can go on. But sure, this might feel a little bit different than usual ones. But, Jerry Jones, man, he's going to take his loving W time to get a contract going. And, yeah, it was I was very scared at first. But I think a contract will get done despite the circumstances that are being put in front of us. But, yeah, man, how do you feel about this?
Yeah, so it was actually a funny story, and we'll get to Terry McLaurin in a second here. But the day before, Terry McLaurin had asked for requested a trade, And one of my
Yeah.
really good buddies, I know he's watching this video. I'm not going to say names yet, but he knows he's watching this. Once that trade request had went down by Terry, I immediately messaged him and I said, could never be us. I was like, how does it feel that your best player is asking for a trade? And I was like trolling him, and he's a Commanders fan, so you gotta take some jabs after that one lucky year they had last year. But regardless, I was sending him some messages, and he was telling me to calm down. And then literally the next day, I was driving to Toronto, and you actually had called me saying Micah had requested a trade, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" And then you slowly explained to me that it was literally a full-on tweet that Micah had released, and I was just thinking, man, like as if that happens the day after I was trolling a guy. So the lesson for everyone watching is don't troll. If you're a Cowboys fan watching this, don't troll one of your boys because you obviously know something's gonna happen with the Cowboys and it's gonna come back and bite us. So when
Jerry
that
Jones.
happened on the Friday, I was shocked, kind of upset, but then spending some time to kind of think about it. This is the art of negotiation. You have two camps right now in Jerry Jones' camp and David Mulligata's camp, Micah Parsons' agent. They're having honestly an ultimate long 12-round boxing match right now, and they're going back and forth. And there were reports saying that a contract actually was on the table sent to Micah's camp, but there was reports saying that David Mulligata thought that they can get more, and that's where we kind of are right now. Do I agree with Jerry Jones's way of managing and signing and trading players, or so not trading, but signing players in free agency or signing players for contract extensions? I disagree with it wholeheartedly. And I would argue that 99.9% of the Cowboy fans also disagree with how he's operated his business in the past. However, I think it's important that we got to understand, dude, is that, look, we've been Cowboy fans for a very, very long time. This is how he operates. He's a businessman first, general manager second. And that's just the reality that we have to live in. This is all a show. This is all being extended for whatever reason. It's being extended. It's being extended for that. Micah Parsons, I think, dude, and you can actually come. I'm curious to see what you say. I think Micah Parsons has now matched Jerry Jones's ability to speak to the media. The ability to talk to the media in a sense that he has a savviness as well. He's got his podcast, he's got his following, and he's able to handle the media so well. I think Jerry's kind of met his match, and there's a bit of a stalemate. But yeah, what do you think about that? Like just the fact that Micah kind of matches up to what Jerry's doing, and Micah's
Yeah,
like, "Throw
dude.
your best punch, I'll come right back."
The first thing I think about, you remember he was doing a podcast with, I think he was doing a podcast with either Devontae Adams or Jordan Love when there were like fans watching, and he was like, "Yeah, like if the Chiefs win, like, I'm going, I'm going."
Yeah,
Like, dude, like what the hell are you doing? Like a player of that caliber, when you're a guy like Micah Parsons, who's probably one of the most dominant pass rushers we've seen since, I don't want to say Lawrence Taylor, but dude, like Lawrence Taylor, like he's up there. Like when he was in his rookie year, he was being compared to Lawrence Taylor. Like, this is the next guy up. For a guy with his caliber and the team, especially the team that he plays for, like he already knows how media centered the Cowboys are, and him to just be able to say what he wants on the internet. He also did one with Jordan Love where Jordan Love's like, I think Micah will look good in a Green Bay Packers uniform, and he didn't even deny it. He didn't say, "Nah, that's not happening." He just started laughing. I'm like, bro, what are you doing,
yeah.
man? Like, this
It's
is
the art of negotiation, bro. It's the art of negotiation, and I actually think, and I'm curious what you think as well. I do think that Micah is still going to sign with the Dallas Cowboys. So
I think
everyone
so too.
sending me and says, messaging me mock trades. You guys can hold the
Bro,
phone
you
on
see
that
all
one
the
now.
stupid trades? I'm sure all your friends are sending them too. Dude, like I seen one with the Ravens. It's like Kyle Van Noy, Rashad Bateman in a first round pick. Like, get the hell
Yeah,
out of here.
no,
Like,
no, that's not happening. That's not
Kyle
happening.
Van Noy is like
No,
33 years old. Rashad Bateman is not even like a top 10 number two receiver on his team. Like when I mean top 10, like around the league, he's not even number two wide receiver, top 10 wise. And dude, what the hell is a random first round pick gonna do? Like, Yeah, I've seen all these stupid trades that go on the internet. Even stupid Eagles fans that are like, "Oh yeah, we'll give you Micah for like a 2 first. That's it. We're
Yeah,
not
no.
going to give you
Yeah,
anybody
no.
like."
Micah's not leaving. It's just a matter of like when is he going to get signed. I want to say I don't think he's going to get signed while they're still in Oxnard. They just had the joint practice with the Rams this week, and then they play the Rams this weekend in the first preseason game. So I don't think he'll get signed in Oxnard. From what I've seen in the past, I do think Micah will sign the week before our first game against Philly. Now he might be on a snap. It's frustrating. He might be on a snap count that game because he
Mhm.
obviously he would have missed all of training camp. Uh, do you think if Micah doesn't get signed before week 1, do you think he holds out?
I mean, I don't know. I actually don't because it's not like he's still on contract, right? He still has at least 1 year of his rookie deal, and I
And
don't know.
and and and, and sorry to interrupt, but the Cowboys can. Micah is $24 million on the books this year, and then they can franchise tag him next year and the year after that. So that even
Yeah,
further proves the point that Micah, it's up to Dallas what they truly want to do, and Dallas has said many times they're not going to trade him. So
yeah.
Micah looks like he's going to be here. It's just a matter of
This is the
when.
final thing I'm gonna say on this whole Micah thing. Yes, sure they can franchise tag him, but dude, if this is it's so annoying because we've been saying this since the beginning of the offseason. If you pay Micah, we save cap space this season. If you pay him next season, we're gonna be in. I don't know what the thing is, but we're gonna not have as much cap space, bro.
Yeah,
It doesn't
no,
make
you're
any
right.
sense. Pay him now. You literally pay him now. You save cap space. What are we? We're like we have $33 million in cap space. And I say we, like yes, we, like we're part of the Cowboys. Everyone can shut up. Like I say we, bro, with 33 million in cap space, I think, right?
Yeah, something around that.
Something around, dude. You pay Micah. We'll probably have about 39 to maybe 40 million if I'm maybe I'm incorrect, but something around that. It doesn't make sense. I don't, bro. We've said it in our multiple group chats, whether it's a Cowboys group chat, whether like it's been phone calls with you and I, or with our group chats with our uncle that's a Cowboys fan. Dude, pay the guy now. And we've said this in March. Like, why, for some reason, it's taking you a whole freaking offseason just to pay your best player? It doesn't make any sense. And, dude, one thing I realized, they don't pay
It's
their
actually
freaking
crazy.
first round picks. It takes them forever. Dude, they paid Jake Ferguson. They extended Osa because he was a third rounder, because he was about to go into free agency. We weren't going to sign him. The reason
Yeah,
why the
but dude,
Jones family doesn't
that's because
sign him is they're still under contract.
the price tag of these first round picks is way higher than a third round pick or a guy later. Micah's camp and CD's camp and all these guys' camps are going to be asking for
Dude,
more. And Jerry just doesn't seem want. Listen. He'll end up doing it. He'll end up doing it. We know he's going to do it. And Cowboy Nation, we're going to be fired up when that happens. But it's just so frustrating that every single year. I'll say it again. Every single year, there's some storyline going into the season that has nothing to do with the X's and O's on the football field. There's
mm-hmm.
always something. It's just the way the Cowboys operate. It's what we signed up for as fans to having to deal with this every year. That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
On the
And
flip side, though,
the most
yeah,
annoying
let
part
you, yeah.
about this is that us crashing out right now and millions of fans are real crashing out right now and going on the internet, bro. Jerry loves this. Like he loves this. There's nothing
100%.
guy loves than seeing his fans upset. Dude, he loves the attention. I don't understand. For a guy who's that old, I don't know how you even care about the media attention around him. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Listen. Jerry's a businessman. He's a businessman, and at the end of the day, say what you want. And listen, I'm not, like I said before. I don't. I would say support. I don't agree. I would say that's a better word. I don't agree with a lot of things he does, but at the end of the day, one thing Jerry does do is he ends up signing these players. Remember the whole Ezekiel Elliott thing? You might have been too young for that. You might have like just started walking at that time. You might have just started walking. The whole Ezekiel Elliott and
bro, bro, we went to Dallas the year
You just start
before
watching
or
football. You just start watching
2 years
football. No,
before
but
he.
listen. Let me tell you something. During that time, there was a whole. He said, "Who's Zeke?" He said, "Who's Zeke?" And at the end of the day, Zeke got signed. Dak got signed opening day last year. CD got signed. DeMarcus Lawrence, who's now a Seattle Seahawk, he also requested a trade out. He got signed. So Micah's gonna get signed. I'm not worried about that. It's just frustrating, and we're ranting right now because it's just another thing year after year. But enough about Micah for now, because we know he's not leaving. But Terry McLaurin on the other side, he 100% is out of Washington. Where do you think?
He's gone,
Where do
bro.
you think Terry
Not gonna
McLaurin is going?
So
Where do you think Terry's going? I
Terry
think
McLaurin is out
Terry's
of there.
going.
He's
I
not.
think
He's
he's
not gonna
going
stay.
to. I honestly, we're obviously joking. Terry would be a phenomenal fit for the Los Angeles Chargers. I understand
Yeah.
they just got back Keenan Allen, but he's a little bit, he's on the tail end of his career. And McConkey, who is phenomenal, and we'll get to that later. He's a phenomenal receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Scary Terry, get him out of the NFC East. Go play with Justin Herbert and Bob's your uncle. I think that's a great match.
For sure. I think maybe before the Keenan Allen signing, I think that definitely could have been a good spot because if you think about the Chargers wide receiver core right now, it's kind of big with they have Ladd, brought in Keenan Allen. They have really high hopes for the rookie they drafted out of Ole Miss, Trey Harris in the second round. Apparently he's been really well in camp, and they still have Quentin Johnson, but dude, it's Quentin Johnson. But one of the things that I saw. What about Vegas?
I like Vegas.
You know,
I like
yeah, I think that could be a
Smith.
good fit. Him and Gino. They brought in Genti in the draft. They Brock Bowers is the best tight end in football. I actually don't even think it's a debate. I think Brock Bowers is the best tight end in football. Who did they bring in this draft? They brought in Jack Best, wide receiver from
Ashton Genty.
TCU. Yeah, Genti as well. I think I said that. And yeah, I think that would be a good fit. But all honestly, we don't. I don't
Yeah, we're just
trade in.
trolling. We're just trolling. We don't think. Again, this is all about negotiation. This is all about trying to make the most of your money. I don't think McLaurin's going to go. However, it would be phenomenal if he does. And between Micah and Terry McLaurin, 100% Terry's gone. Another good option would be Pittsburgh. DK Metcalf. They need a wide receiver too. Got Terry in Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers. I think it's a great fit.
They do need a wide receiver too. And I don't care what that
100%.
Steelers fans will say that we don't need a wide receiver too. You absolutely need a wide receiver too. But anyways, we are going to move on to a brand new segment we have here, and this is a segment assigned to me. This is my college football player outlook. Basically, what I'm going to do, not every episode, but some episodes, I'm going to go into depth about one college football player going into the season. Usually, players that are probably going to be going into this year's up-and-coming NFL draft. Talk about the player, what they did last year, what my expectations are for them, and what a fit for a team for them to be. What the hell am I saying? And a future team for them to be on in the upcoming draft, like a fit, whatever. You know what I mean? Anyways, let's get right into it. So on this episode, the player that I will be talking about is the running back from the University of Washington, Jonah Coleman. Let me tell you about this guy. Dude, this guy is literally a mini wrecking ball. Turn on the film on this guy. He is electric. He is strong as hell. He has unbelievable contact balance. And when people don't know by contact balance, dude, you cannot tackle this guy off the first hit. It is ridiculous if you watch his highlights. Jonah Coleman played at Arizona for his first 2 years, and then he just transferred to the University of Washington last year. Last year, he rushed for over 1,000 yards, had 10 touchdowns, and averaged about 5.5 yards per carry. I think a reasonable expectation and stat for this year, I have him going for over 1,500 yards, probably about 15 touchdowns. Yeah, I think 15 to maybe 18 touchdowns. Man,
Okay.
Jonah Coleman, this guy runs hard, man. Like, I'm not even joking. I know I've said this before. You turn on the tape on this guy, you don't see him getting tackled off the first hit. No matter what you do, he will break off that tackle and he would make a gain for about 20 to 15 yards. This guy is unbelievable. I have him. I know this is super early. This is very early, but I have him
This is
as a future.
way too early.
Very early, but I have him going as a future first round pick. God forbid, hopefully he stays healthy this season. You know, I have him as a future late first round pick to early second rounder. Yeah, I think Jonah Coleman will have a great season with the University of Washington this year. I don't I don't really know much about how their offense is going to look, but I know they're definitely going to be run heavy. They showed a lot of that last year. They play in the Big Ten, so it is going to be a little bit of a difficult conference. But I think Jonah Coleman has the ability to, make himself probably one of the top running backs in college football.
I like that. I like that. I watch this film as well. He's an absolute savage with the ball. I also know that he's a phenomenal player to use in college football 25, 26. Make sure if you have a fantasy team or an ultimate team, you got to get Jonah Coleman on your team. He's a dog in the video game and in real life. But Humzah, so you said late round pick. Just curious, like, what team do you think is gonna need a running back at that time? Late round pick. So that means this team, if you're saying late round pick, that means they would have had to have had a good season coming up, and
For sure.
that would mean that they're picking maybe a potential a late round pick to help kind of boost their offense or their offense in this case, but not necessarily have an overhaul. So who would you think if you were? I know it's super early, just a projection. What team do you think he can fit on?
So I have a couple teams in mind. The first team I'm thinking about is I think a team would benefit a lot from this guy because, first of all, they already have a running back one. Well, I think if you pair up Jonah Coleman with Chase Brown of the Bengals,
Ooh,
Chase Brown is a speedy back, elusive runner. He can kind of run away from defenders. He's a great what's the word, house caller. And then you pair him up with a guy like Jonah Coleman, who's every down back. He can run through defenders, also break off tackles, and also run for big gains. I think a team like the Bengals would be a great fit for a guy like Jonah Coleman, and hoping that the O line. Well, we'll have to see what the Bengals do this year. I think the O line will improve, and I think Chase Brown again. I think we also have a good season, but I think Bengals are definitely one of the teams that I think Jonah Coleman would be a phenomenal fit for. And also, no biases aside, curious how to see the Cowboys' run game's gonna look like this year. We have Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders on a one-year deal. If they don't really cut it out, I could potentially see Cowboys getting a guy like Jonah Coleman, pairing him up with Jaden Blue, which I think
that'd be
would be a
nasty.
great similar fit to what it'd be with the Bengals, where you have your speedy back with Jaden Blue, and you have your every down back with Jonah Coleman, who again just run in between, run through defenders, and do everything. Also, forgot to mention, but this guy is also 5'9", but he doesn't play like he's a 5'9" running back. I swear, all the good running backs that we see nowadays, like Jameer Gibbs and Ashton Genteen, that nobody's probably more than that missing. Dude, these guys are small backs. These are the guys who are like 5'10", 5'9". Like I think that's a trend that we're gonna see a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the game's changing, man. You're starting to see a lot more teams with two running backs, a 1A, 1B, and a lot more slimmer, faster guys who are also able to block as well, which is something that back in the day. I say back in the day like I'm old. I'm not. At least I don't think I'm old. Uh, no, I'm not. Um, Back in the day, people there's a one running back. You didn't stop at that. Okay, like people call us twins. I'm not old. That means you're old. So let's calm down with that. But no, back in the day, I would say back in the day, like 6, 7 years ago, there was predominantly a one running back system, and now guys like Jonah Coleman, Jameer Gibbs, these young, elusive, kind of slimmer backs are starting to take over. But they can also run over people anytime they want. That's true. Um, all right, man. Into our next segment. People were all over our DMs and saying that they love the quarterback spotlight segment of our show where we highlight a quarterback from last year and then kind of project them moving forward. And sorry. Um, so this and in today's episode, we kind of talked about it already. The team, a potential future home for Terry McLaurin because he will be gone hopefully soon to this team. This quarterback that I'm going to be talking about today, and I forgot to mention, sorry, Humzah will provide his other QB segment instead of just one. We'll have one each. So I will be talking about today the quarterback for the Los Angeles Chargers, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert last year. I'm just bringing it up here 1 second. Last year, he had honestly a surprisingly decent year. His QB to interception ratio was really, really impressive. You can see Jim Harbaugh trying to establish that, and you know him; he has a great relationship with all of his quarterbacks. Justin Herbert last year had 3,870 yards. That was ranked ninth in the NFL. He had 23 touchdowns. That ranked 12th in the NFL. And he only had 3 interceptions with a QBR of 64.8. So Justin Herbert, obviously, pretty decent year last year. That division now is a big question of how I'm going to answer and kind of project his future, because I truly think his division took a massive incline. Bo Nix and the Broncos are going to get better. Obviously, making the playoffs last year. We talked about the Raiders, and obviously the Chiefs are the Chiefs. So you got to play those teams twice a year, and they also have really potent defenses as well. So my projection for Justin Herbert, I think he will slightly decline in his passing yards this year, just by a little bit. So last year he had 3,870. I think he'll be around the 3,500 range. Touchdowns, these are all projections that are like for fun. We're trying to see what can happen. We truly never know what the reality is going to be. But for the touchdowns, I think he'll get just above 23. He'll get, I think, 26, 27 touchdowns. Lad McConkey is a big reason for that. I think now in his second year, he's going to be that kind of Cooper Kupp to the Chargers as Cooper Kupp was to the Rams. And a big thing as well, although he's a little older, Keenan Allen, just as of a few days ago, re-signed, and he and Justin Herbert have phenomenal chemistry, and they tend to gel really well, especially down in the red zone when the field gets tighter. And I think he's going to have a good year as well with the Chargers back to his first team. And interceptions, 3 interceptions only is pretty ridiculous. So I think he'll get maybe 6 or 7 interceptions. Those are always difficult to kind of highlight. But that's my QB spotlight, Justin Herbert. Humzah, who's your quarterback for today's episode?
So before I get into my QB spot, I actually want to ask you a question real quick.
Yes, sir.
You have Justin Herbert going under the passing yards that he did last year?
Yeah, just a little bit.
So let me ask you this question. I want to hear kind of, not your deep dive, but I want to hear kind of like what you think about it. So you would think that, also in the draft, I believe you forgot to mention, they drafted Omari Hampton out of the first round at North Carolina. They also brought in Najee Harris. And then, like you also mentioned before, they brought in Keenan Allen. So I had McConkey last year. He played not predominantly in the slot, but he got a lot of reps in the slot. Keenan Allen is known to be usually a slot type of receiver. And then, you have a Trey Harris who's a deep threat. And you have Quinn Johnson as well. How do you think that offense is going to kind of look with, Lad McConkey pairing up with Keenan Allen, having not necessarily 2 slot guys, but 2 people who can play very well in the slot? And then, how do you think that's going to look, especially with, they have a 2-headed backfield with Amari Hampton, Najee Harris, which I think Amari Hampton will probably be the one going in like later on in the season. But I'm curious of what you think, how that offense will look.
Yeah, so I think you have to look statistically and look back at Jim Harbaugh and kind of the systems that he's ran in the past. Heavy play action, like to run the ball, establish a running game, and then build from there. And if you just said right now, Hampton and Najee Harris, a 2-headed monster in that backfield, establish a running game. Hampton went in the draft where he was supposed to go because of his talent, because of his speed. You pair that with Najee Harris, a little bit older now, but more ground and pound. The play action off of that with Lad McConkey in the slot, I think it's going to open up a lot for Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, arguably, I think he's got one of the strongest arms in the NFL. So you look at everything overall. You add up everything, the running game, the play action. I think it fits really well for Justin Herbert. Overall,
so why do you have him going under the yards then with all that?
It's just a prediction, man. It's just a prediction. Just to have some fun. Just a prediction. I think defenses are obviously going to adjust to Lad McConkey. Why are you laughing? Why?
Because why you say
like,
prediction?
what do you mean? I just said prediction.
It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
Okay, let's calm down. Let's settle down. You got me off my train of thought. Oh yeah, the because Lad McConkey is the guy on that team. Obviously,
Mm.
defenses are going to adjust to him, and he will get more double teams. I still think Justin Herbert's going to have a great year. I think the yardage is going to be a little bit less than this year,
So do you have him more
because no one
touchdowns? Though?
really knew. Pardon me.
Do you have him? I forgot. Do you have him scoring more touchdowns?
I do. Yeah, I have him more touchdowns, especially in the red zone.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen's coming back. I think it's going to be a good homecoming for both those guys. So
Mm.
that's why I think. And to answer your question truthfully, of why I think it's going to be less yards. Ultimately, you look at the defensive side of the ball. These guys are going to adjust to Lab McConkey and Keenan Allen and everything like that. And that division is really tough as well. You look at that division. Uh, it's going to be an interesting season for sure. I don't even know. Despite what I'm saying, I don't even know if they make the playoffs or in that division. You know,
Well, yeah, certainly it's gonna be tough because
Chiefs in Denver.
yeah, and then you're also expecting that the AFC East also gets better. So you honestly, I think AFC West will probably be the only team will have three teams make the playoffs that year. I can't AFC. Oh, but dude, the AFC North too, man. Holy, like that's I don't know. That's a whole different conversation as well. I've totally forgot about the
Yeah,
AFC North because that's also a
100%.
division with three teams that can make the playoffs easily as well. So yeah.
All right, man. Let's hear it. Who's your quarterback?
So my quarterback for this QB battle is Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield last year he had 4,500 yards passing. He had 41 touchdowns last year, which is second in the NFL. He did throw 16 interceptions, and that is only thing that kind of like stands out in terms of that's like bad. Then he had a QBR of 61.6, which is 13th in the NFL. But the Buccaneers did this offseason. Personally I think Baker's gonna have a good season, but I do not think he will throw for 4,500. But I do think he will throw for around 4,000 yards. I think in the draft they brought in Emeka Ibuka out of Ohio State. You know, Chris Godwin. I'm not sure how much time he's gonna miss, but I think he's gonna miss quite a bit. I think offensively, from what we're hearing from camp with the Buccaneers, Emeka Ibuka is looking like the guy. Despite Mike Evans being there, Emeka Ibuka is apparently having a great camp. Emeka Ibuka is, he's a great talent. I think Emeka Ibuka is probably. No, I don't want to say that with Ohio State receivers. But Emeka Ibuka, he's a great receiver. And you still got Jalen McMillan. You saw Bucky Irving. And Bucky Irving last year that we saw, he was great in the pass game as well. So my predictions for Baker, I again have him for about 4,000 yards. I have him for about 36 touchdowns thrown. I think he's going to calm down on the interception. I think he's going to have around in the range between 8 to 12. In his QBR, I think it will be higher this year. I have him going about a 67.9. So I'm not
Okay.
sure where that's going to rank in the NFL, but I do have him being a little bit better this year, for sure.
It's crazy. Like thinking about Baker, just a couple years ago, he was bouncing around teams. Like he played for the Panthers. Then he had that crazy game Thursday Night Football when he played for the Rams, but had just joined the team on like a Monday or a Tuesday. I think they were playing the Raiders, and he won the game there. I said the Panthers, right? So now he's in Tampa, and you see how well he's fitting in that down there, and the weapons around him. Mike Evans, you mentioned Chris Godwin. Like this is a legit team, and in a division now where you look at the Saints, who the reality is they don't really have a true quarterback right now as we're standing, and the Panthers I think will be a better team, and the Falcons with Penix and Kirk Cousins, that situation there. You look at Tampa as being the guys in that division that they got to beat. So yeah, I liked it. I like the Baker Mayfield spotlight. Do you think Mike Evans is going to have another Mike Evans type of year?
I mean, I think so. I don't know when you would want to say Mike Evans will slow down because honestly, from all the times in the NFL, I don't know when he's slowed down. I mean, he battled through injuries this season, but he still managed to get over 1,000 yards this year. So, honestly, I have no idea. Mike Evans' longevity is pretty great to see. And yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if you can slow down Mike Evans.
Where do you have Mike Evans in your fantasy draft? What
Dude,
round you pick
that's a
Mike
tricky
Evans?
one because I've done a bunch of mock drafts and I don't know if I want to take Mike Evans. Because usually what the board looks like, it's always Mike Evans, Marvin Harrison, Terry McLaurin,
Marvin
and then
Harrison.
you can tell your experience later.
No, I
And
don't want to
Rasheed
talk. I don't want to. That's for another episode. That's right. I understand he was a rookie. I picked him way too early last year because every single mock draft had Marvin Harrison, kind of that 7-8 range, and that's where I was picking in my big league with a decent buy-in. Marvin Harrison did me dirty. Kyler Murray did me dirty. So I do not want to talk about that right now. But we'll see what happens this year.
for sure.
I just have PTSD.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be taking Mike Evans because I don't know. I might stack up receivers in the first 2 rounds. Depends who's on the board.
Percent. All right, man. I think another great episode. We ask everyone to please like, comment, and subscribe on these videos. We really do appreciate it. And let us know. We understand we're mostly talking about the NFL, but if there's other sports you kind of want us to talk about, we'll kind of see what you guys have and we'll kind of go from there. But we're really, really, really happy with all the positive messages we got on Instagram and I can't even speak right now. Instagram, on TikTok, people were messaging us individually as well. So, we really do appreciate that. It does mean a lot to us, and we will definitely continue to create content for you guys and just have some fun, man. We're trying to talk some ball. And I will say, too, one more thing is we do potentially, I'm not going to say who yet, but we do potentially have our first guest on the HnH podcast next week. He and I are just kind of going over some details right now, but I'll be sure to post that on our Instagram. Yeah, we're really looking forward to that. So, Humzah, anything you want to add?
No, I think you covered it all. We're thankful for everyone, and yeah, I do have one last question though.
What's your question?
Orange Crush or Orange Fanta?
Orange Crush or Orange Fanta is a crazy thing to end the podcast on. We need a whole segment for that because I don't think it's close at all.
Yeah, I don't think it's close either, but we have 2 completely different answers.
It's very simple. And
yeah,
I'm
I know.
gonna give you I'm going to give you a political answer on this one. Say it again.
It's very simple. It's very simple. It's like
It's
one of
very
the most
simple.
self-explanatory questions I've ever got in my life. It's like, is the sky blue? Yeah, it is.
Not all the time, right? So listen, let me tell you something. Give you a political answer. In North America, Orange Crush 100%. Like, it's not even close. International, as soon as you cross the water, you go anywhere international, it's Orange Fanta. For some reason, man, the Fanta in North America, it has a different taste than it does when you're abroad. So to answer your question, it's Orange Crush. 100% Orange Crush.
I completely disagree. I think it's 100%.
You disagree?
100%.
You disagree?
I've never disagreed more in my life.
Okay, give me a quick 1 to 2 minutes why you disagree.
I don't want to go too long because I don't want to go over the limit. But it's not even close. It's like it's so much Orange Fanta. Like first of all, the smell of Orange Fanta, just like the smell says, "Come here, come here." That's what Orange Fanta does. It's such a pleasing orange. It's a great orange. Everything. Like, bro, dude, the fizz, the first sip, the last sip, every sip is just better, man. I don't think it's close.
Dude, like I said, I agree. I don't know. I don't know why. I don't know what it is.
Do you want to what we'll do? Even though this episode will be posted later, as soon as we're done this, we're gonna put a poll on our story right now. Even though we did it a while ago, but we're gonna do it on the HnH podcast.
Let's do it. Let's make a poll.
Orange
Crush or Orange Fanta, and I want to see next episode with our special. We'll ask our guests as well because this is, we brought this onto the camera now. You just mentioned it now because the camera is on, but you and I have had many conversations about this in the past, so I'm curious to see what people say.
Yeah,
but
I think
you understand what I'm saying.
Everyone's
gonna bet against you. No. Everyone, that's not true. Everyone's gonna support you on this one. But listen, you have to admit what I'm saying. The Fanta is way better. International Fanta to North American Fanta is way better. There's a different taste. I'm telling you. Call me crazy. Say what you guys want, and please leave some comments and let us know. International Fanta tastes completely different than Fanta here.
For sure. There is a bit of a difference, but yeah, North America is still better. But
anyway, we'll talk about that.
I think that's a great way.
Thank you guys so much for watching again. We really appreciate it. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll be back with some more content in the week. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.